What kind of estate plan do you need if you have under $1 million? Hey everybody, I'm Christopher Small. I'm the owner of CMS Law Firm. We do estate planning, we do probate, we do will. If you are in Washington State and you need help with these things, go to cmslawfirm.com, set up a time to chat with us over the phone for free. Okay, estate planning under $1 million. A lot of people will think to themselves, well, there's not a lot of assets there. We don't need an estate plan. You would be 100% wrong. Okay, you have plenty of assets to consider and that to want to save and to want to make sure that they go to the right place and take care of the right people. And you have to worry about yourself when it comes to estate planning. Okay, so we're gonna just tackle this high level and sort of drill our way down to different things you need to consider. So first things first, estate planning doesn't just cover you when you die. This is what everyone forgets about. Okay, estate planning covers you also if you are incapacitated and alive. So if you are in a car accident and you're in a coma, if you are elderly and you have dementia, your estate plan becomes extremely important to you. All right, the people that you name to those positions are going to be managing your money. They're going to be taking care of you. They're going to be doing all the things that you wish someone would do, and they're going to have a legal ability to do that. And by naming specific people, you are going to exclude other bad actors. Okay, so consider that. And now, on this alive but incapacitated side, we're going to have power of attorney. Okay, power of attorney is basically who can manage your money for you. Okay, who can pay your bills, who can do whatever needs to be done for you with your money. Okay, think about what you do right now. Somebody else could do that for you if you can't do it. It's pretty straightforward. If you are married, this is often your spouse. Usually you will name a backup in case something happens to both of you. Okay, pretty straightforward. Number two is going to be medical power of attorney. Who can make medical decisions for you if you cannot? Okay, again, pretty straightforward, but you don't want the wrong people in these spots. You know, you don't want your crazy brother who's a drug addict to be managing your money or making healthcare decisions for you, quite frankly. Usually you will name a backup if you have a spouse, again, in case something happens to both of you. What this also allows for is if someone, let's say it would be your parents, if you don't have this medical power of attorney, they are not going to be able to learn about your condition. You're not going to be able to talk to doctors or do anything like that. So this also helps with that. The third thing, if you have kids, is going to be minor power of attorney and minor medical power of attorney. The way I like to describe these are like short-term guardian designations, okay? If you're in a hospital or if you're in a car accident and you're in the hospital for 6 months, who is going to be able to take your kid to school, sign a field trip slip, take them to the dentist, okay? Just take care of them, period. These documents, the minor power of attorney and minor medical power of attorney, allow the people that you name to be able to step in and do this, okay? Now, parents are first, obviously, but if something happens to both of you, or if someone is out of town, let's say on a business trip for a month, this person can step in until they can get home, okay? All right, this would be number 5, I guess, is going to be healthcare directive. Healthcare directive is if you are in a vegetative state, do you want to pull the plug or not, okay? This is important for your family to know so they don't argue. It's also important for your medical power of attorney to know so they don't have to second guess what you would have wanted to do if you haven't talked about it, okay? It's just super clear what you want to do. They can follow the instructions, super simple, okay? That is the alive side of estate planning. Everybody should have that, whether you have $1 million or $1 or $10 million, okay? The other side of estate planning is what most people think about when you think estate planning, and that is when you die, okay? So on that side, we're going to have a couple of different things. We are going to have disposition instructions. Okay, these are burial instructions. What do you want to do? Do you want to be cremated? Do you want to be, placed under a tree, planted? Do you want to be cremated? Do you want to be dropped in the ocean? What do you want to do? If you have specific things, you can name them. If you don't, that's okay too, but you can name the people that are in charge of figuring out what to do with you. Super important. The other thing that you're going to have when you die is a will. A will is going to do a couple different things, okay? Will is going to name your executor, okay? In Washington State, it's called a personal representative. This person is basically in charge of your assets and figuring out where they're supposed to go, okay? Gathering your assets, determining your debts, paying your debts, distributing your assets, okay? If the executor is needed, we're going to have to go through probate, which we don't want to do, and we'll talk about in a minute. The will also tells the world where you want everything to go, okay? If you want something to go to your Aunt Susie, it needs to be in the will. Okay. If you don't have a will, then your assets are going to go wherever the state has sort of determined the right order of delivery is supposed to be. Okay. For most people, it is going to make sense. Spouse, then kids, then parents, typically. But if you want things to go to specific people or charities, it needs to be in your will. Okay. Now, all of these things I would consider to be a foundational estate plan. There's only one thing that we haven't done yet, even if you're under $1 million, that you want to consider doing. Okay. Before I get to that, another gentle reminder. If you're in Washington State and you want some help with estate planning or probate, cmslawfirm.com. Go set up a time to chat with us, okay? All right, now that we have that out of the way. With this foundational estate plan, you have covered most of your bases, but you have not done sort of what I would consider to be a very important part of estate planning, and that is trying your best to avoid probate. All right, probate at the super high level is the process of transferring your assets to someone else. That's all it is. You have to go through court to do this. Typically, you have to hire attorneys to do this. Typically, it takes a long time. Typically, it's kind of expensive. So typically, you want to avoid it if you can. I'm about to tell you how to do that. All right, so the first thing that you want to do is for all of your financial accounts, retirement accounts, bank accounts, investment accounts, you want to make sure that you have beneficiaries on those accounts pointing to wherever you want them to go. Okay, so if you're married and you want everything to go to your spouse, it would be your spouse. If you want everything to go to your kids after that, you can name your kids to be sort of the second beneficiaries over there. Okay, same with your life insurance. You want to have beneficiaries. If there are no beneficiaries, then we go through probate. Okay. Now, if we have real estate, you have to do something different, okay? If you want your property to go to like one person, by the way, I'm gonna tell you very generally what to do here. Don't run off and do this stuff without talking to somebody first, okay? Just to make sure it's the right thing to do. If you have one piece of property and you want it to go to someone specific, you can usually use something called a transfer on death deed, which is like a beneficiary designation for your house. When you die, the property automatically goes there. You don't need probate or anything like that. If you have property and you want it to go to 8 people, you're probably gonna wanna do a trust, which we'll talk about here in 1 second. Okay, but we're trying to avoid probate here. Beneficiary designations and transfer on death deed, if it's pretty simple distribution. If your kids are older as well, you may want to do that, okay? If you have younger kids or you have property that you want to go to several people, you may want to consider doing a trust. Even with $1 million, even with $100,000, you may want to consider doing this, okay? If you just have beneficiary designations and you die, the money goes to those people automatically, okay? So if you have kids that are young, that money will sit for them, and when they turn 18, they'll just get a big check for the whole thing. I have young kids. I absolutely don't want that to happen. So we're not doing that. Trust is the answer. Okay, a revocable trust. It's kind of like a box. Okay, you're gonna create this box. You're everything to the box. You are the trustor, the creator of the trust. You are the trustee, the manager of the trust, and you're the beneficiary while you're alive. You are everything. You can move things in and out of the trust. You can change the trust. You can revoke the trust. You can destroy the trust. You can do whatever you want. But you set it up so that when you are gone, you name the next person to step in and manage the assets in the trust. And inside of the trust, you tell that trustee how you want everything to be distributed. Okay. So if you want things to go to your kids over time, if you want it to be held for them and used for specific things, the trust is the vehicle to do that. Okay. Now, that's what I would do. Okay. If you had $1 million, that's how I would design an estate plan. Exactly what you want to do is going to depend on your own personal goals, your own personal values, your own personal philosophy. This is why it's super helpful to talk to an attorney before you decide what to do, because there's a lot of different ways you could go, and each of them have sort of like costs and benefits depending on who you are and who your family is. So talk to somebody. If you're in Washington and you want to talk with us, cmslawfirm.com, you set up a time to talk with us over the phone for free, and you'll love it, guaranteed. You're going to hear a lot of what we just said, but you can ask questions based on your own personal needs and goals, and we can fix that up. Okay, so that's it. Hopefully this helped. If it did, that's great. Hit the like button, follow. Look, if you want more of this stuff, subscribe. Stop messing around. Hit the subscribe button. If you have questions or comments, leave them. I will answer them, and I would love to do it. Okay, and that is it for now. Okay, I am Christopher Small. I'm the owner of CMS Law Firm. We do estate planning, we do probate, we do it well. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. Appreciate you, and I'll talk to you again soon. See ya.